Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Alright, my name is Teacher Charles. So today I'm going to teach you something relating to science. Actually, it's a science topic, which is the digestive system. So we have to come up with the key points when we are teaching or learning about the digestive system. The first thing is you have to identify the organs that make up the digestive system. So when you're talking about the organs making up the digestive system, you're talking about the mouth, the gullet, stomach, intestines, small and large. So these are the parts that make up the digestive system. The mouth, the gullet. The gullet is also known as the esophagus. We have the stomach. We have the intestines, the small and the large intestines, and also we have the anus. So talking about the mouth, breaking down the mouth, we're going to talk about the mechanical digestion. So what happens is when we eat in the food or when we take in the food is going to be broken down into small particles. So for instance, now we've identified the parts of the digestive system. Now we want to know what is digestion. So now, for the definition of digestion. Digestion is the breaking down of large food molecules into small molecules that can be easily absorbed by the body. For instance, what happens is we eat the food. In English, we say we eat the food, but that's not science. When you're talking science, we say we ingest the food. So after ingesting the food, we cannot just swallow the food. We have to break it down so that the body can be able to swallow it. So what happens is the mouth plays a vital role that you're going to eat the food and the teeth inside the mouth, they're going to break down the food. So we call this mechanical digestion because the teeth are working there to break down the food. Remember the definition of digestion is breaking down large food molecules into small molecules that can be absorbed by the body. So from that definition, you already know that the mouth is there to break down the large food molecules into small molecules that can be easily absorbed by the body. So after breaking down the food with the teeth, the tongue is going to turn that food into a bolus, and then you're going to swallow. So when you swallow, the food is going to enter the gullet, which is called the esophagus. That's another word for gullet, the esophagus. So when you swallow the food, it enters the esophagus. The mouth here and where the gullet or the esophagus. And from this point, the food is going to reach the stomach. The food is going to reach the stomach. So what happens in the stomach is this food is going to be, the whole digestive system is continuing from the mouth all the way to the stomach. So the stomach now, it's going to secrete some gastric juices. So these gastric juices are going to help to break down the food again. But now we call this chemical digestion. Remember, in the mouth, we are talking about the mechanical digestion. But now in the stomach, we're talking about the chemical digestion. So now, why we call this chemical digestion is because the food is being worked on or worked upon by the chemicals inside the stomach. We have the hydrochloric acid, the pepsin, and stuff. So now you have to understand that inside the stomach, we only have hydrochloric acid and the pepsin. So now another gastric juices, of course, but we are going to talk about the pepsin. So the pepsin works in the presence of hydrochloric acid. So now this food we eat, if the food contains protein, this protein is going to break down. It's going to be pepsin is going to break down the protein into peptides. That's the main reason why we have this pepsin. But it only works in the presence of the hydrochloric acid. So from the stomach, we have the intestines. Excuse me, my diagram is not really that good. So we have the small intestines. So the first part of the intestines, we call this one the duodenum. The first part that separates the stomach and the rest of the small intestines, we call this part the duodenum. And then now we have the rest of the small intestines. So then the duodenum is part of the small intestines. We have the duodenum, which is part of the small intestines. So what happens in the duodenum? More juices are coming all the way. Some are coming from the pancreas, some are coming from the liver with the bile, which is produced by the liver, though it is stored in the bile duct, but in the gallbladder. But it's going to come all the way from the gallbladder through the bile duct. So we have the bile duct. It's going to transfer the bile from the gallbladder in the duodenum, and also have the pancreas. The pancreas is also transferring the pancreatic juice in the duodenum. So now what happens is, this is a channel for further digestion. So now, when the food finally enters the breast part of the small intestines, now this is where the absorptions start to take place. So the first absorption of the nutrients is going to take place in the small intestines. And then when all the nutrients are absorbed by the small intestines, the food is going to travel into the large intestines. Let's say this is the large intestine. So in the large intestine, only water is absorbed in the large intestine. And then the rest of the waste product is actually pushed all the way outside the body. And you call this expression. We're talking about anus here. So all the waste is going to travel all the way and be passed out through the anus. We call this excretion. So this is the little summary on the digestive system. So when you're talking about the digestive system, always know the definition, what is digestion and the organs that take place inside this whole umbrella word digestive system. Like I mentioned, I always talk about the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestines, the anus. That's actually the simplest things you can actually talk about or discuss. But it is a little bit more complicated than this. But for simplicity's sake, we just decided to make it this simple. But there are all other organs involved. Like I mentioned, we have the pancreas, which is going to produce the pancreatic juice, and we have the liver. The liver here is going to produce bile, which is going to be stored inside the gallbladder and only secreted when needed. So basically this is all about the little summary on the digestive system. And people might ask the use of this pancreatic juice. Well, the pancreas produces this pancreatic juice. Okay, the other reason why we have this pancreas is because there are some enzymes which work on the glucose. So these cells, they are found inside the pancreas, where they are called the isolates of Langerhans. So they are found inside the pancreas. So when this juice is secreted, don't confuse the word secrete and excretion. There are two different words, secrete and excretion. Excretion happens when the food is being actually transferred outside the body, like the food is being passed out of the body. Then secretion only happens within the body. So never confuse excretion and secretion. So like I said, this is happening inside the body. So the pancreas is going to secrete the pancreatic juice and it's going to work in the help of the digestion. So basically this is a small summary on the digestive system. My name is Teacher Taz. I'm a science teacher. Thank you.